Hello. Hey guys. Oh my god. Got to close my blinds. Alright. Be right back. Stay right there. Alright. You didn't see that. Yeah, see if you can figure out where I am from my background. What's up, Wing Chun? How's it going? First, as always, what's up, Losh? How are you doing? Hey, Sal. Nice of you to join. What's up, Bigfoot? I'm glad you're here. What's up, Nikki? Evening. Oh, Nikki, you changed your username. Is that your entire name now? Or is that a fake one? So, I did bless you with 2 uploads within 10 days. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, spoiling you guys. I believe the next video is also within 10 days. I think, maybe, a little bit, kind of. Not promising anything. What's up, Lady Koi? Is that the vacation place? It sure is. I'll be here for a couple of months. Nikki, that's your entire name forever? All right, awesome. Nikki M. Carlin. Ranton Andy, what's up? How are you doing? My green screen is very realistic. Yeah. Yeah. Not often you get a green screen where you can touch the blinds and close it, you know? Thought it looked like that last time. No, it looks much better now. All right. Do 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 do. Hold on. Hold on. Yeah, you will see my imaginary girlfriend in the back. Maybe we should walk by. You thought I was here last time too? Oh, yeah, yeah. I was at the same place last time, guys. Same place. No one has guessed where I am yet, though. You're all slacking. All right. Wordle. Let's do this. Let's crank this out quick. All right. 2 minutes. Because I give no hints. Oh shit! I looked. I looked at chat. No. All right. Not looking. Mm. Ooh, what is this? Poor. Poor. Repo. Rop. P. Pori? Is that a word? Pori? Prior. Oh, prior. I like that. Oh my! Oh my god. Was that 2 minutes? Was it? It's surely not Europe. It's 3 a.m. here. Whoa! What are you doing up at 3 a.m.? Because I give no hints? I actually did give hints. Okay. Yeah. Where do you think my snacks came from? Okay. Yeah, you can kind of see, you can kind of guess if you have a good eye. I like today. Do-do-do-do. I got it as fast as you did. Hell yeah. Japan? This is not Japan, unfortunately. You don't recall hints? They're subtle, subtle hints. My snacks are from Japan. Not all of them. I think last time we had some snacks that were not Japanese. Myrtle Beach. No. Went to China. Did not go to China. What time is it in China now? Okay, 9 a.m. 9 a.m. You think I'll be up at 9 a.m.? No way. I'd still be fast asleep. New Zealand. Vietnam? Oh, good guess. No. What's up, Rude Noise? How's it going? I just tell you that it's a little bit hot today, and it's about to get hotter tomorrow and the day after. There you go. Okay. Hey, you only get one guess, okay, per day. You can't just keep guessing locations. That's kind of cheating. All right, anyways. Zimbabwe. Could be Australia. Well, it could be, but it's not. My neighbor's basement. True. All right. Let's crank this out quick also. Crank this out quick. Okay. Australia. Hot. Migrate? How about climate? Change. Heat. Lost. Drive. Okay. Computer. Hard. How about car? Driving? Loss? Run. Oh, fly. Oh, jump. Tataristan. What the hell is that? I don't think that's a real country. Losh. Oh, sorry. Losh is not a word. Glide. Scoot. Travel. Plane. Flap, like flapping wings. Wing. Fall. Spider. Guess. Yo, these are not good. I think this is gonna be a long one this time, guys. Protect. Let's just do like random words. Similar. Random. Word. Paragraph. Tape. Long. Short. Die. Filibuster. Close. Far. Swim. Sink. Pirate. Oh no. Failure. Fail. Near. Oh. Wherever you are. Nearest. Dearest. Dear. Dear. Near, close, next. Adjacent. Okay. Adjacent. Opposite. Door. Like next. Distant. Side. Diagonal. Oh. Hypotenuse. Wait. Is that not how you spell hypotenuse? Or does it just not know? Wait, that's how you spell it, right? No? Hmm. Samantha. Hypotenuse. Oh, okay. No H. It's kind of weird. Okay. Some kind. Okay, it's geometry, I think. Perpendicular. Um, Parallel. Tangent. Sine. Cosine. Flip. Horizontal. Oh, vertical. Vertical. Connect. Line. Oh, shape. Geometry. Triangle. Square. Rectangle. Circle. Rhombus. Acute. Tangent. Tan. Parallelogram. Flat. How about a graph? How about a parabola? Math. Algebra. Algebra. Sphere. Cylinder. Square. How about cube? Diagonal. Bisect. Oh, I like that. How about intersect? Corner. Slope. Ooh. Oh, okay. Obtuse. We got slope. We got hypotenuse, parabola, hyperbola, hyperbole. That is how you spell hyperbola. I think I know this one. Samantha is just wrong. Intersection. Okay. Bisect. How about cut? How about split? Axis. Radius. Okay, radius. How about diameter? Divide. Dissect. Intercept. Limit. Bisect. Dismantle. Intercept. We tried that. Did we? Intercept. Oh, we did. Fraction, no? Slope. Integral. Maybe it's calculus. Derivative. Numerator? No, I don't think so. Denominator? Denominator? It seems to have something to do with geometry. Vivisection. Okay. I don't even know what that means. Math? Mathematics. Graph. Did we try that? How about a graphing? Excel. Oh. Okay. Bisect, square, half. The surgical thing? Plot. Ooh. Chart. Ah, what is it? Square. We got square, we got triangles. Yeah, polygon. Okay, okay. Surgeon. Slope. Quadrisect. Is that cutting things into fours? Quadrisect. Ah, what is it? We're not even that close. We're only at 35. And it's bisect. Bisect. Calculate. Ha! Bisect. Cut. Intersect. Trisect. Parallel. Divide, then we try that. Multiply. Add. Subtract. Moon. Half moon. Quarter. Section. Oh. Sector. Quad. Quadrangle. Is that a word? Angle. Answer. Geometry, we tried that, I think. Yeah. We tried algebra, we did we do calculus? I think we did. Oh no, what is it? Demon sect? I like that. Ah, calculus, bisect. Ah. Answer. Hypothesis. Test. Oh no. Eviscerate? Wait, why? We got intersect. Oh, maybe it's not geometry. It seems to be geometry, but maybe it's not. Hypotenuse. Equation. Quadratic. Polynomial. All these they have to do with geometry. Maybe we're barking down the wrong tree. We did tangent. Genesis. Solve. Something to do with butchering? You think so? Like diagonal. Meat. Cut. Beef. Slice. Side. Front. Back. Bottom, top. How about infinity? Moses bisected the sea. That he did. Moses! Sea. River. Ocean. Split. Let me try that. Unite. Okay. Union. Oh no. We're gonna be here forever, guys. Sharing. Arc. Ooh, I like that. Nope. Degree. Minute. Seconds. Second. Separate. Okay. Divvy. Ah! This is not our night. Slope. Diagonal. Bisect. Parallel. Triangle. Eternity. Study? How about school? Learning. Tutor. Elementary. College? University? Basic. Ah, you are now big. Amputate. Your English is too basic for this? You've exhausted your entire vocabulary, Andy? Focus. Locus. Integrate. Join. Ah, God. What is it? Work. Paint. Swirl. I'm just guessing now. Bisect. Crease. Whoa! Crease. Why? Fold? Uh, Droop. Crease. Seam. Oh! Tailor. Uh, Collar. Origami. Pants. Shirt. Clothing. So. How is so not even similar? Stitch. Edge. I like that. Quilt. Edgy. Shoes. Needle. 18 minutes. Oh my god. Seam. Oh, we can do it, guys. We can do it. What was the longest that we had? I think we're approaching that, aren't we? Seam. Stitch. Hive. Fold. Cut. Etchy. Alright, who sews? Give me all of the words. Contour. Hmm. Sketch. Pearly Q. Hey. Canyon. Dart. Thread. Seam. Tear. Inseam. Fit. Fold. Tried fold. Oh god. Contour. We tried. Yeah, we did it. It's here. Bobbin. Bobs. Bob. Knit. Pocket. Square. Oh, we did that. T. Oh, like a pocket square. T. Pattern. Oh. Oh, what is it? Babu Naga. Hem. Okay. Seam. Yeah, pattern. Hmm. Darn. How about yarn? No. Beauty. Fashion. Oh god. I'm about to open up a dictionary. Quill. We got quilt. Vein. Ah, no. You. Me. Frock. Lining. Oh, I like that. No, damn it. Couture. Show. Entertainment. No. Seam. Test. Let me try that. Ah. We did do line. We did do line. Line segment. Pattern. Tried that. Passion. Receptacle. Okay. Oh my god. What the hell is this? Sad. Sag. Mock. Ha! Seam. Wear. Wear. We had shirt. We had clothes. Cap. What about a selvage? What is that? Whoa. Mock up those two words. Ventricular. Thinking anatomy. Lace. How about underwear? Ugh. Oh god. Grain line? What is that? Salvage. Crochet? Oh, crochet has not been done. Crochet. Nope. Grandma. They knit, right? Macrome. What is that? I know Macron. Ah! Bisect square. Seam can be... Seam is very high. But maybe it's not about knitting. What other definitions for seam? Pivot. How about deam? Seam. Inseam. Oh god. Fissure. Oh. Oh. Crack. How about earthquake? Volcano. Scar. Lateral. Whoa. Fault. Plate. Tectonic. Oh, hello. How about mine? Gold. Yeah, I don't think it has to do with sewing. Or, yeah, but this might be a good road to go down. Earthquake, we got that. Shaft. Slippage. Okay. Mine. Vein, we tried vein already, I think. How about oil? Dig. Mineral. Oh, guys. Pick. Axe. Rock. Rocky. Got crust. I like that. Mantle. Iron. Stab. Stratosphere. Okay. Diamond. Minecraft. Doesn't know that word. Dwarves. Orcs. No. Compression. Oh, I like that. Compress. Lava. Mineral, rock. See. Crease, though. Diagonal, square, bisect, seam. Overflow. Convection. Conduction. Canary. Like the canary in the coal mine. Coal. Resources. Wrinkle. Gap. Oh my god. Nuclear. Energy. What? Can it be? Oh, juncture. That's a good one. Hole. A crack. A seam. Bisect. Mountain. Geography. We are going into overtime. We suck, guys. Meltdown. Work. We tried work. Oh god, what is this? Seam. Bisect. Fold. We tried fold. Fold is not high up. Convergence. Converge. Hustle. Overtime. Avalanche. Okay. Natural. Like a natural disaster. Tornado. No, seam. Bisect. Why? Prediction. Model? We did try vein. Come. Go. Work. Dig. Pick. Zone. Intersection. Oh, zone! Wait a minute. Hot. Region. The area. Okay. Perimeter. Oh, we forgot perimeter. Perimeter, area. What else is there? Volume. Field. Time. Flow. Quadrant. Oh, why didn't I think of that? Crease and seam sounds like it's about the connection or breach. Sector. Oh, location. Geographical. Longitude. Latitude. Open. Dimension. Crack. Try that. Crank. Zone. Coordinate. Oh, I like that. So good. Route. Path. Trail. Way. Highway. Information. Zone. End zone. Wide. Width. Length. Depth. Guideline. We haven't. We suck. Oh my god, it's 331 guesses. This better be a good word. Well, we're at 946, so like we're not that far away. Touchdown. End zone. Rules? Oh my god. It will be something very simple and infuriating. I promise you, that's what it will be. Zone. A zone. An area. A period. Catch. A zone. Seam. Region. A country. Land. Land! Property. Estate. Real. Land. Field. Grassland. Forest. District. Oh, I like that. Oh, state. Municipality. Community. Local. Locality. Dance. Perimeter has been done. Oh, we passed 30 minutes. Era. Acre. Vibe. Get in the zone. Ethnicity. Get. Zone. AutoZone. Continention. What is that? Continention. Mention? I mean, I know continent. Hash. Value. Zone. Contention. Topography. I like that. How about map? Oh. How about topographical? Wait, topographical. How about graphical? Artistic. Do we try geography? Geography. Mountain, we try that, I think. Oh, guys. Cliff. Guys. Country. Did we not try that? Yeah, we tried that. Nation. Oh god. City. Town. Um uh, village. Hermit. Oh. Wall? Hole. Sea. Seal. Rand McNally. Oh. I think youngsters don't know what that is. Hood. Hood. Wait, can't type. How about neighborhood? Neighborhood. Floor. Ceiling. Light. What the hell? Guys. Road. Great. Zone. Seam. Zone. Seam. Zone. I think if I keep repeating it, it'll come to me. Zone. Zone. Boulevard. Okay. Boulevard of broken dreams. Sector. We tried. Grid. Ah, damn it. Atlas. Wait, you can still buy atlases? Yeah, I guess it's pretty cool. Can you still buy maps? Do people still sell maps? Yep, I'm on my boulevard of broken dreams right now. Art. Guys. Guys. Not getting any closer. What's going on? Zone. Map. New. Cartography. Cartographer. Photographer. Territory. Oh. 40 minutes? Guys. Oh, territory works. Kind of. Oof. C. Zone, territory, land, field, sector, section. How long are we gonna be here? Oh god. Version. Right. Like a right angle. Zone. Kingdom. Think so? Republic. Okay, what's another word for zone or territory? Empire. Oh, hegemony. No, I think the physical zone. Physical aspect of it. What's the name for the people who go out and do the measurements for zoning and cartography and that stuff? Isn't that cartographers? Or am I wrong? Map makers. Land stealer, invader. Engineer, architect. Oh, guys. Corridor. What the? Wait a minute. Hallway? Corridor. Yeah, corridor is a zone. Corridor. Canal. A valley. Colonizer. Colony. Oh. Surveyor. I like that. Surveyor. What is that? What? Transect. I don't even know what that means. Bisect. Transect. That's the highest so far. What does transect mean? Supplant. Sect. Passage. Bisect we tried. We had it. Bisect is here. Immigrate? No. Transplant? Ah, this is painful. What? Graft? Grift. Transect. Wait, what is transect? Yeah, graphs, we tried that. Border. Oh my god, border. Oh, adjacent, like adjacent border. Align. Transaction. Meet. Border wall. Oh, that's why wall is kind of high. Do you think you can read this chapter at the pace of an auctioneer? Let's try. Adjacent borders. Adjoining. Bordering. Okay. Maybe it's countries. Buffer. Oh, I like that. I like a buffer zone. Getting close. We're getting close. I'm excited. Crossway. proxy. Transect. Circumcise. Circumlocution. Circumnavigate. Circumnavigate. Oh god. Curse. Crossroad. Oh, I like that. No. No. A buffer zone. A buffer state. Circumference. Did we not do that? Oh shit, we didn't do that. Okay. Not it. Travel. Vacation. Okay. 2 countries. Zone, transect. Oh, we're so close. Getting closer. Transnational. National. Intersection or intersect. We tried that. Invade. Borderland. Oh, I like that. Okay, okay. Any other lands? Navigation. Claim. Boundary. Oh my fucking. Rant and Andy. Thank you so much. I was dying. I was dying. I was dying. Boundary. Oh, fuck. Good job, guys. How long did that take? 48 minutes. Fucking boundary. Oh, God. Okay. Look at these words. Demarcation. Fuelsman. Gully. Demarcates. Who's gonna guess that shit? Oh. Alright, let's do it quick. Oh. Thank God. Alright. We got some snacks. Look. If you can't see it. It's got little bunnies on it. Okay. Bunny, and it's next to the moon, I think. That's what it's supposed to be. Yeah, it's pretty cool. You can't really see it. Oh, there it is. Yeah. It's like chewy candy, okay? Let's do it. Come on, you fucker. What? Hold on. Ah. I can't do it. It doesn't allow you to open. Oh, thank God. Alright. More rappers. I hate you. Alright. Okay. Has sugar on it. Oh, it has 3 layers. Okay. I'm gonna eat the bunny's head. Just taste sugar. No, there's more stuff. Hold on. There's some other flavors in there, but I can't tell what it is. Mostly just sweet to me. Rated out of 10, that is a 6.5 out of 10. Is this the first snack with a cuteness rating? Hell yeah. It is pretty cute. Transected. Alright, okay, good. Should I eat the second one? Alright, fine. I'm really struggling here. Okay. This one, oh, the moon behind it is really big. It is pretty chewy. Chewiness rating is like a 3 or a 4. All right. Oh god, we don't have time. All right, we don't have time. All right. What happened last week? All right. Last week, Guojing and the 6 freaks of Jiangnan, they go south from Mongolia to China. On the way, Guojing notices like this horse is kind of bleeding, but then Han Baoju, he lets him know that, oh no, it's not bleeding, it's a special horse, okay? And its sweat is just red, okay? It sweats red liquid. And it's a really valuable horse. Then they meet some women on camels. The women plot to steal Guojing's horse for their young master in Yanjing. Ku Zheng hears their talk because he got good ears and he gets kind of suspicious, okay? And he's like, oh, there must be some meeting of bandits or ruffians in Yanjing. They want to see what's happening there. So he proposes they separate from Guojing. The 6 freaks would go see what's going on in Yanjing, and Guojing would go on ahead alone, okay? So traveling alone, as Guojing is traveling alone, the camel riders, they try to steal his horse, okay? But he's pretty strong now, and he escapes. So he goes to this city called Kalgan. So Guojing meets this beggar boy, okay? And he helps him with some bullies. And he says he'll buy the boy some food at an inn. But it turns out the boy is like super knowledgeable about fancy food and stuff. And the boy orders a bunch of exotic foods, but he only eats a few bites of each, which is kind of weird. So, but they have a kind of a fun convo, and Guojing really kind of likes this boy. Okay, the boy's name is Huang Rong. Apparently, he ran away from his father. So they're talking, and after some time, they part ways. Hongrong kind of jokes as they part that Guojing should give him the special horse that sweats red liquid, sweats red sweat. But Guojing, like, he immediately just says, yes, yeah, you can have my horse. And Hongrong rides off with the horse. Guojing continues on foot. He's ambushed by the Yellow River's 4 demons and their martial uncle. Yeah, the 4 demons were the guys that he fought in battle in Mongolia before, but someone secretly helps Guojing in the fight, and he escapes. Guojing continues to Yanjing, where he sees a bride contest. Okay, this woman is challenging the crowd, and she's like, if any man can beat her in martial arts, she would marry the man. Right, and we end with 2 guys. She beats 1 guy, then 2 guys jump onto the platform challenging her. There you go. Yeah, you got that? You got that? All right. So the 2 men leaped in the open space. Okay, that's where we stopped. Chapter 7, part 2. Yeah, rude noise. She wants a future husband who can beat her. It's gonna be a great relationship. Upon seeing them, the crowd burst out laughing. The one who had come from the east was obese and elderly. He had a big beard and had to be at least 50 years old. The one who came from the west was even more comical. He was a shaven-headed monk. Wait, so this old and fat dude and a monk. They want to get married. What are you laughing at? The fat one shouted to the crowd. Isn't this a contest to find a spouse? I am not married. Why can't I try my luck? Venerable ancestor, said the monk while giggling, even if you win, you wouldn't want this girl, as beautiful as a flower, to become a widow right away. And you? The fat one said angrily. What are you here for? If I can have such a pretty girl, replied the monk, I'll return to the secular world. The crowd was roaring again. The girl frowned her eyebrows, apparently annoyed. She removed the cape, which she used to cover herself, and wanted to continue the fight. Mu Yi, which is her father, I think, held her arm, saying not to be irritated, and replanted the banner in the ground. The monk and the obese person continued their bickering, each wanting to fight the girl first. She's a sub. Sounds like an episode of Ranma? I never watched that, actually. Why don't you start fighting against each other first? The hilarious spectators suggested. The winner will have the honor to fight the girl. All right, the monk said. Old chap, let's have a little fun. He threw a blow with his fist, and the obese one avoided it by lowering his head before returning the blow. Guojing recognized the style of the monk, the Arhat style from the Shaolin Temple. Oh, it's a Shaolin monk, guys. The obese one practiced the style of the 5 movements. Both were thus practitioners of external Gong Fu. The monk showed himself of great agility, whereas the obese one, in spite of his age, privileged heaviness and power. Suddenly, the monk stealthily struck 3 blows at the stomach of his adversary, who fought stoically in order to be able to batter down his right fist on the head of the monk. The monk fell to the ground, dazzled, then found his spirits again, took a knife out of his robe, and ran to attack. The crowd shed a cry of surprise. The obese one leapt back before wielding an iron whip, which was rolled up around his waist. Thus, both had become armed. The fight began again, still desperate, but more dangerous. The spectators applauded while moving back, fearing to be injured by straying blows. He's still one of the most devout monks in these stories so far. Lol. Mu Yi approached the two men and said with a loud voice, "Stop! We are here in the imperial capital. It is forbidden to exhibit weapons." The two adversaries, carried away by their fight, did not give him any attention. Mu Yi leapt suddenly. Jumping, he kicked the knife of the monk while seizing the end of the whip. He drew with force. The obese one could not resist and released the whip. Mu Yi threw the whip to the ground. The two adversaries, not daring to fight any more, collected their weapons shamefully and disappeared under the gibes from the crowd. Then tinkling of small bells, which were attached to the harnesses of horses, was heard, and one saw a flamboyant company appear, several tens of vigorous servants accompanying a young nobleman. He looked at the brocade banner and examined the girl from head to toes. Then he smiled, got down from his horse, and came forward. "Is this the girl who seeks a husband through a contest?" he asked. The girl blushed and turned her head without answering. Mu Yi advanced, joining his fists, and greeted. "My name is Mu. What does the young lord wish?" "What are the rules of this contest?" Mu Yi explained it to him. "Then I want to try my chance as well." He was a young and handsome nobleman, about 18 or 19 years old, dressed in a lavish brocade coat. All right, guys, how do you think this guy will fare? "At last, a boy," thought Guo Jing, "who would make a beautiful couple with this girl. Unfortunately, the monk and the old obese one a while ago were not up to par. If not... "Your lordship is joking," said Mu Yi, mortified. "What do you mean?" "We are only wanderers without abode. How would we dare to measure ourselves against you? And it is not an ordinary contest. It decides the marriage of my daughter. Please forgive us." "For how long have you held this contest?" "It has been more than 6 months that we traversed the roads." "And still nobody could overcome your daughter?" the young nobleman said unbelievingly. "It is, undoubtedly," Mu Yi answered, smiling, "because the experts in martial arts are all already married, or they condescend to be measured with her." Okay, the young dandy exclaimed. "I will test this." "This is a young man with a refined and distinguished bearing," Mu Yi thought. "If he came from an ordinary family, he would have made a husband of choice for my child. But obviously he belongs to the nobility. We are here in the capital of Jin. His family is perhaps well known at the court, or, in any case, he is certainly rich and powerful. If my daughter wins, what could be worth our troubles? If she loses, would it be bad for us to be united to such a family?" All right. The girl can just pretend to lose to the guy that she likes. Hell yeah. She's probably going to lose to this guy. She can't wait to lose to this guy. "We are just wanderers in the realm of rivers and lakes," he said. "We cannot measure ourselves with you. Please, forgive us. We will leave." "This is an honorable contest," the young nobleman said, laughing. "I assure you I will not harm your daughter." He then turned to the girl and said amiably, "It will be enough that the young lady touches me to win, all right?" "It is a contest. In a contest, it is necessary to comply strictly to the rules," the girl protested. "Hurry up with the fight!" a cry was heard from the crowd. "The speedier you will fight, the more quickly you will be married. The more quickly you will have babies." The spectators burst out into laughter. The girl wrinkled her eyebrows and removed her cape sulkily. She greeted the young nobleman, who bowed in return. Please, young lady. This young dandy grew in affluence, Mu Yi thought. Does he know martial arts? It is better to defeat him quickly and to leave the city as soon as possible, in order to avoid trouble. All right. Then he said, Perhaps. Oh, wait, all right. Then he said, Perhaps your lord wants to get rid of his coat. That is not necessary, the young dandy said, smiling. The spectators, who knew the ability of the girl, thought that to show oneself that careless, one was going to suffer. But, some of them thought, they must have experience in the realm of rivers and lakes. They will certainly not injure a son of a noble family. They probably will arrange that he does not lose face. Do you believe, whispered the others, that they really perform a contest to find a spouse? Probably old Mu only wants to benefit from the beauty and gong fu of his daughter to cheat money from fools. This young dandy should watch his wallet. Please, the girl also said. The young nobleman swiveled towards the right, whereas his left sleeve flew with flashing speed towards the shoulder of the girl. She, surprised by the speed and skill of the attack, leaned and plunged, thus escaping the blow. But the action of her adversary was stunning. The right sleeve already arrived near the head of the girl, clamping both sides. She had to leap back with the quickness of an arrow. Good! The young nobleman shouted. He advanced without letting her the time to fall down on her feet. The girl, still in the air, swiveled and attacked to defend herself, kicking with her left foot in the direction of the nose of the young man. He had to move back hastily, and both fell down simultaneously on their feet. The young man had attacked with 3 stances, and the girl had defended herself with agility. They both began to feel respect and watched each other. The girl blushed and took the initiative to attack. The battle started anew, more desperate. It was performed so quickly that the young man looked like a shadow of shining brocade, whereas the girl resembled a red cloud. At the side, Guojing was increasingly stunned. These 2 young people are of my age, he said to himself, and they possess such a high level of martial arts. It is really extraordinary. They would make a perfect pair. If they marry, they could then, during their leisure hours, replay some contest to find a spouse. It would be funny. With his mouth agape, he followed the spectacle with participation, when suddenly the girl clutched the sleeve of her adversary and tore it off with force. She jumped back immediately, holding her trophy up. Young lord, shouted Mu Yi, we are sorry. Then he turned to his daughter. Well, let us go. Not so quickly, the young man shouted with a grim look on his face. Nothing is really decided yet. He caught the 2 sides of his coat and pulled, causing the jade buttons to pop out. One of his servants helped him to remove his coat, while another collected the buttons. Underneath, the young man wore a water-green satin tunic, tightly held to his waist by a delicate green scarf, which gave him an even more captivating air. He raised his left palm and sent a blow, showing his true gong fu this time. An extremely violent gust of air passed very close to the girl. Oh, he was just holding back. Guojing, Mu Yi, and his daughter were dumbfounded. How could, they wondered, a person of such distinction have such a cruel and brutal kung fu? The young nobleman did not look for fun anymore. His blows were so powerful that his adversary could not approach him anymore. We have a formidable expert here, Guojing thought. The girl is no match for him. Apparently marriage is in sight, and I am quite content for them. My 6 Shifus always said that exceptional men are legion in the Central Plains. Indeed, this young nobleman has an original palm style with sophisticated variations. We should fight. Should we fight? I would probably not win against him. For his part, Mu Yi could also foretell the outcome of the duel. "My daughter!" he shouted. "It is useless to continue. The young lord is much stronger than you." "This young man has excellent kung fu," he said to himself. "Thus he is not one of these idle, gambling, and whoring sons of certain families. Presently I will request information about his family. If he is not related to the Jin government authorities, I will approve of a marriage. Then my daughter's future will be secured." All right. She's getting married, guys. He shouted for both to stop their fight, but the battle was full-blown and couldn't cease. If I wanted to injure you now, the young man thought, nothing would be easier, but I do not have the heart to do it. Suddenly his left palm changed into a claw, and he clutched the wrist of the girl. She, surprised, sought to break loose. The young man pushed slightly forward, and the girl lost balance. At the time she was going to fall, the right arm of her adversary pulled her gently, and she fell into his arms. Bum, bum, bum. Nice move, young man. The spectators applauded and hollered with enthusiasm, causing a great tumult. Shamefully blushing, the girl begged with a low voice, "Release me, quickly." "Say 'my dear' to me," he answered, laughing, "and I'll release you." Outraged by such an impudence, she struggled, but he held her firmly, and she could not break loose. Mu Yi advanced and said, "You've won. Please, release my daughter." The young nobleman burst into laughter, but did not do anything. Losing her patience, the girl gave a kick in the direction of the plexus of her adversary in order to make him release her. He indeed freed his right arm, parried the blow, and caught the foot immediately. His Chin Na technique was perfectly timed, and he could seize anything he wanted. The girl panicked, sought to release her foot by pulling with force. At last she succeeded, but by doing so she lost her small shoe, which was embroidered with red flowers. She sat down on the ground, head lowered with red with shame, holding her foot covered by a sock of white fabric. The young aristocrat smiled unsteadily, wore the lace boot to his nose. He lifted the lace boot to his nose and sniffed it. Okay. He has a thing for feet. In the situation, the hooligans were obviously not going to let pass this occasion. "That smells good!" they shouted in chorus. "What is your name?" asked Mu Yi. "It is not worth speaking of," answered the young aristocrat while laughing. This competition really had instant consequences. Yeah. Yeah, you guys like that fight? First, he grabs her and pulls her into his arms. Then he takes off her shoe and sniffs it. Did you guys expect that to happen? He took again his brocaded coat, cast a glance in the direction of the girl, and placed the small embroidered laced boot in his pocket. He steals it! At that moment, the wind redoubled in strength, and large snowflakes started to fall. "We live at the Inn of Prosperity," said Mu Yi, "in the western part of the city. Let us go there thus together in order to make plans." "To plan what?" the young aristocrat retorted. "It's snowing now. It is necessary that I hurry home." Mu Yi turned pale. You won this challenge. I made a promise that I give you my daughter in marriage. It is a serious business. One cannot treat it with lightly." The young aristocrat burst out laughing. "Ha ha ha ha! We had a little fun with martial arts," he said. "It was rather interesting, but as for the marriage, I am obliged to decline this honor." Ah, he's a dick. Anger choked Mu Yi and prevented him from speaking. You... What do you take our young prince for? Shouted a servant while laughing. Do you believe that he would wed with vulgar traveling performers from the Jianghu? In your dreams, old man. Mu Yi was so angry that, with a blow, he struck him senseless. The young aristocrat did not seek any explanation. He got his servant to be carried, and was on the point of mounting his horse. You are really making fun of us, Mu Yi shouted, clutching him by the left arm. Well, in any event, my daughter cannot marry such an insolent person as you. But return to us the lace boot. It is she who gave it to me, said the young aristocrat while laughing. Why do you interfere yourself? I won the tournament. I've declined your marriage, but I'll keep the consolation prize. He pivoted his arm, exerted some inner force, and pulled clear. It won't happen like that, Mu Yi exclaimed, trembling with anger. He leapt and struck with both fists in a blow called bell and drum sounds together, towards the temples of his adversary. He turned and returned to the arena. And if I beat you, old man, he said while laughing, you won't force me more to become your son-in-law? The crowd, indignant at the impudent and arrogant attitude of the young man, remained quiet. Only some hooligans and good-for-nothings burst out laughing roughly. Without saying a word, Mu Yi tightened his belt and leapt with a sea swallow skimming the flood on the young aristocrat. He knew that he was extremely angry and did not take the attack lightly. He dodged, replied with a blow to the belly. The poisonous snake seeks its den. Mu Yi dodged, struck with his left palm at the shoulder. The young man turned, advanced his right palm under the left arm. It was an extremely vicious blow, called Benefit from the Cloud to Change the Sun, executed without the knowledge of his adversary. However, Mu Yi parried effectively and closed again his two hands on the cheeks of the young aristocrat. At that moment, whatever move he made, he could not avoid the blow. He wrinkled his eyebrows, bit his lips, and decided to employ another technique. His two hands flew like flashes, and his 10 fingers were planted in the back of the hands of Mu Yi. When he withdrew them, the ends of his fingers were smeared with red. Oh. Wait, what does that look like, guys? The 10-finger claws? Kind of reminds me of Mei Chao Feng and her claw, skull technique. When he withdrew them, the ends of the fingers were smeared with red. All the spectators shouted in surprise. The girl, thrown into a panic, supported her father. She tore a strip of her tunic to wrap his hands, which bled profusely. Miyu pushed back his daughter. Move aside, he said. Today, it's either him or me. The girl, pale, looked at the young aristocrat fixedly, drew a dagger suddenly, and wanted to plunge it full into her heart. What? Surprised, Mu Yi sought to stop her hand, and the girl did not have time to draw aside the blade, which was planted in the hand of her father. What is going on? The spectators sighed and deplored to see a beautiful scene finishing in such a bloody way. Even the hooligans seemed indignant at such an outcome. The comments started to focus on the improper attitude of this young aristocrat. Facing such unrighteousness, Guojing could not remain standing by. He gently drew aside the people in front of him and advanced into the open space. Ha! He shouted. To act like that? That's not good. Okay. Good job, Guojing. The young aristocrat, disconcerted for a moment, retorted while laughing. Ah, yes. How was it necessary to act well? His servants, seeing that Guojing was clad like a peasant and that he spoke with a marked southern accent, made fun of him. Guojing did not understand the mockery and said seriously, You should marry this young lady. And if I don't marry her? If you don't want to marry her, why did you come down to fight? It was well marked on the banner, challenge to find a husband. What are you interfering for, kid? Retorted the young aristocrat in a threatening voice. This young lady is not very beautiful, but she has excellent gong fu. Wait. This young lady is not very beautiful, but she has excellent gong fu. That is not cool. Why'd you say that? Why don't you want her? Didn't you see that she felt so offended that she wanted to commit suicide? You're such a moron that it isn't worthwhile to explain it to you. The young aristocrat turned on his heel. Guo Jing restrained him. Huh, how can you leave like that? What do you want? Didn't I tell you to marry this young lady? The aristocrat laughed and was about to leave. Mu Yi, seeing the intervention of Guo Jing, understood that he was generous but naive, and little acquainted with the ways of the world. He approached and said to him, Little brother, don't worry about him. So long as I have a breath of life, I will find to be avenged for this insult. Then he shouted towards the young aristocrat, At least leave your name. I told you I wouldn't call you father-in-law, he retorted insolently. Why do you want to know my name? Very annoyed by this, Guo Jing leaped forward while shouting, Then return that embroidered lace boot to the young lady. Is that any of your damn business? The nobleman said furiously. You've taken a fancy to this young miss yourself, haven't you? Guo Jing shook his head and said, No. Look, are you going to return it or not? The young aristocrat tightened the hand suddenly and slapped Guo Jing heavily. He moved sharply and employed a chi na technique, seizing by crossing the hands the wrist of his adversary. He sought to escape in vain. Do you want to die? He shouted then, surprised and annoyed, giving a kick towards Guo Jing's lower belly. He flexed his muscles and pushed back the young aristocrat towards the open space. Obviously, this person had a good lightness technique, for instead of falling on his back, he corrected himself and landed on his feet. He nimbly removed his brocade coat and exclaimed, You don't want to continue living, little idiot. If you got guts, come and test yourself against me. Why would I want to fight with you? Said Guo Jing, shaking his head. Since you do not want to marry the young lady, return her laced boot. The spectators, seeing the intervention of Guo Jing, wanted to see what he was capable of, and didn't think that he would retreat. Some hooligans even hooted, Talk without action. It's unworthy of a hero. For his part, the young aristocrat, having been caught by Guo Jing, had realized that his kung fu wasn't insignificant, and especially that he had a powerful internal energy. So he was happy to not fight. But, of course, he couldn't return the laced boot without losing face. He therefore gathered his coat and turned on his heel while laughing. Guo Jing caught him by the side of the coat and repeated, How can you leave like that? The young aristocrat had a sudden idea. He cast his coat over the head of his opponent and struck 2 fists into his chest. Wrapped up in the coat? Why? Guo Jing could not avoid the impacts. Fortunately, he had practiced 2 years of orthodox Neigong with Ma Yu, so that these blows, although extremely painful, could not truly wound him. Okay. He's pretty strong, guys. Pressed by danger, he launched successively by changing alternate stances 9 fast kicks. It was a skilled technique developed by Han Baozhu, which had already enabled him to beat many enemies. Even if the disciple did not have yet the skill of the master, and even if these kicks were made while he was blinded, they disturbed the young aristocrat, who could avoid the first 7 but was caught by the last 2 fully in his chest. The two young men simultaneously leapt back. Guo Jing, still amazed, got rid of the coat that hampered him. He could not believe such treachery on behalf of his adversary. He knew well, he thought, that he entered a challenge to find a husband. He had won, and yet refused to marry the young lady. Moreover, when I tried to reason with him, not only was it he who struck first, but he used a shameful trick. If I hadn't practiced Neigong well, he would have broken my ribs and crushed my internal organs. Being of a simple and frank nature, he had always lived with decent people, so that he did not know anything about the perfidy of the human nature. Has he always lived with decent people? Not all of them. Even though during the last years his masters had not failed to warn him against tricks and treacheries which one might meet in the Jianghu, he listened to them like one listens to stories, which could not remain engraved in one's consciousness as long as they had not been lived oneself. What is that sentence? At that moment, he was at the same time furious and perplexed, unable to believe in the existence of such frauds. The young aristocrat, angered by the two kicks he had received, advanced, his fist raised on Guo Jing. He parried, but could not face the rain of blows which fell on him, and fell down. The servants were filled with laughter. Their master puffed out his chest and said while laughing, "Ha ha ha! Then you think you can play a deliverer of justice with your three-legged cat technique? Go back home and tell your Shimu to give you lessons for 20 more years." Guo Jing got up, breathed in deeply, and circulated his breath in his whole body so that the pain diminished. "My Shifu doesn't have a wife," he retorted. Then tell him to marry one quickly." Guo Jing was going to answer, "I have 6 Shifu, whose wife," but he did not have time. He saw that the other was going to leave, then advanced on him, his fist raised, while shouting, "On guard!" The young aristocrat dodged. Guo Jing struck a left hook right at his face. The other blocked. They stood, their arms supported upon their adversaries, each one trying to use internal energy to overcome the other. Guo Jing was a little stronger. His opponent had a better technique. It was difficult to immediately decide between them. Guo Jing inspired deeply to concentrate his internal energy, while the other loosened its pressure, making Guo Jing fall forward. He tried to re-establish his balance when he felt a stroke coming from his back. He hastened to avoid it, but not having a strong basis, he stumbled. While falling, he took support on his elbow and rebounded. While spinning in the air, he threw a stroke of his left foot. Watching this fast and spectacular recovery, the crowd applauded. The young aristocrat moved away and attacked with 2 palms. One was a feint to disturb the adversary, while the other was the real stroke. Guo Jing used the technique to dissociate the tendons and to dislocate the bones, his favorite technique. His hands fluttered in all senses, aiming the tendons and the joints on the whole body. Seeing the virulence of this attack, the aristocrat changed suddenly his tactic. He also started to use the same technique. Only the one learned by Guo Jing had been invented by Zhu Tong, the literate to the quick hands, and diverged from the orthodox technique transmitted by the masters of the Central Plains considerably. The two looked alike in their principles, but had some differences in the execution. One threatened with the index and the thumb, the point foot of the old man behind the wrist. The other tried to pick the joints of the fingers, but the two felt mutual apprehensions and didn't dare to go all the way, hardly sketching a movement before passing to another. Thus, after 40 or so exchanges, they still couldn't see who had the upper hand. Snow continued to fall, and a fine white layer covered the head and the shoulders of the spectators that surrounded them. Suddenly, the young aristocrat seemed to have an opening on his chest. Guo Jing saw it immediately and tried to benefit from it by pointing his index on the point tail of turtle dove of his adversary, but he had some scruples when passing to the action. There is no hate between us, he said to himself. I can't use such a deadly stroke on him. Then he deviated his finger and touched another point, what had no effect on his adversary. This one had the whole leisure to catch his wrist and pull him while making a hook foot. Guojing lost the balance and fell once again. Mu Yi, whose hands had just been bandaged by his daughter, also watched the two. He saw Guojing fall for the third time and understood that he was not of size to face the insolent youngster, and he hastened to raise himself from the ground. Little brother, he said, let it go. There's no point to stay any longer among scoundrels of this kind. Guojing, who had seen the stars and was hurt already, felt the rage mount on his head. He moved away from Mu Yi and rushed on his adversary while increasing his strokes. The young aristocrat, surprised to see him insist on it of the sort, in spite of the beating that he had just received, moved back 3 steps. Don't you recognize your defeat? Guojing didn't answer and continued to attack. If you don't stop, threatened the young aristocrat, I am going to be obliged to kill you. If you don't return the handkerchief, retorted Guojing, I will never finish with you. But this girl is not even your sister. Why do you persist to want to be my brother-in-law? To be the brother-in-law of someone constituted an injury on the capital. The scoundrels exploded with laughter while hearing it, but Guojing didn't understand a drop of it. I don't even know her, he said. She isn't my sister. The young aristocrat didn't know if he had to laugh or be angry. Then on guard, he said. He ended up saying, stupid. The two young people restarted the fight. This time, Guojing appeared more prudent and didn't fall anymore into the repeated traps that the adversary prepared for him. In fact, from a strictly technical viewpoint, the kung fu of the young aristocrat was superior. But Guojing never gave up and fought like a barbarian. He had received some strokes. He always restarted the attack with persistence, without renouncing. He had already fought like this when he was small, during the fights with the kids of the Duksh gang. Now he had acquired more agility while learning the martial arts, but his way of fighting didn't fundamentally change, since it was in his nature to fight with savagery, not taking note of the recommendation of his fourth Shifu, unbeatable enemy, flee. In his mind, the more important formula had always been, unbeatable enemy, insist, except that he didn't realize it. Okay, I feel like his translation is getting worse and worse as time goes on. The spectacle attracted more and more world. The place was completely cluttered. Wind and snow increased in intensity, but no one left. Mu Yi, because of his big experience of the streams and lakes, knew well that if the fight continued, the streams and lakes is like the martial arts world, okay? If the fight continued, the crowds were going to attract the attention of the authorities and maybe provoke their intervention. He knew that it was better to not eternalize themselves there. Only this young man had come generously to help them. He could not leave him alone here, but he felt very anxious. He raised his eyes and vaguely browsed the assembly when he noticed in the crowd several individuals who seemed to belong to the world of martial arts. He had been so concentrated on the fight that he had not even realized their arrival. He moved then, slowly, approaching the servants of the young aristocrat who were held in a corner. Watching them in the corner of his eye, he saw among them 3 characters who had the martial look. The first wore a big scarlet bronze dress and a golden cap. It was a very tall Tibetan llama. The second, I'm just picturing a llama. a llama, a llama, a llama in a bronze dress and a golden cap. What's up, Malik? I'm glad you could join. The second, medium sized, had silvery white hair, but a rubicund and a beaming face, to the smooth skin as the one of a baby, without only one wrinkle. Wait, without even one wrinkle. He was clothed of a long dress. One didn't know if he was a Taoist or a bonze. Wait, that's not bronze. What is a bonze? Bonze. That must be like a Chinese word or something. The third was very small, but his blood-injected eyes had a piercing look, and he carried a proud, small mustache. Is a bonze a person? That must be some kind of person, right? All right. Time for a 5-minute break, guys. I will be right back. All right. We are back. Okay, so as they're fighting, they see these 3 dudes in the crowd. The presence of these original faces, astonished Mu Yi. He then heard one of the servants say, "Supreme Virtuous, have the goodness to rid us of this stupid, please." What? Supreme Virtuous, have the goodness to rid us of this stupid, please. If that continues and that it arrives whatever to the young princes, us other servants would be good for the gallows. I have no idea what that means. What? If that continues and that it arrives whatever to the young princes, us other servants would be good for the gallows. So get rid of this stupid person, please. If it continues and it reaches the ear of the young prince, us servants would be killed, be executed. I feel like that's what it's saying. Mu Yi shaked, hearing it. Thus, he thought, this scoundrel is a young prince. Effectively, if the fight continues, it could happen a misfortune to him. Apparently, all these people are experts belonging to the royal house that the servants summoned here to lend assistance to the prince. Okay. So this guy is like some young prince. Some young Jin prince. Okay, I think. So, not good. The Tibetan Lama smiles without saying a word. The old man shouted while laughing. The Supreme Virtuous Ling Zhi is an eminent member of the esoteric school of Tibet. He cannot fall as low as to come to the hands of a rookie of this kind. It would be too disrespectful. And then, if it was to arrive something, the prince would at most break your legs. He wouldn't go as far as wiping you out, would he? Anyway, did intervene the small man of the eyes injected of blood. The young prince is stronger than this kid. What do you have to fear? The small man of the eyes injected of blood. He was small, but had a piercing voice. The spectators around them jumped while hearing it and turned around to look at him, but, nervous by his menacing look, all lowered the eyes immediately. Our young prince had such a hard work to learn all this gong fu, said the silvery old man. If he can't even make a demonstration publicly of it, he would be really frustrated if all these years of effort were just wasted. If someone takes the liberty to go help him, he will surely be very vexed. Venerable Liang, said the small man, according to you, to what school the technique of the palm of the young prince does belong? Brother Pang, did answer the old man while laughing. Do you want to put me to the test? The young prince has a technique of palm allying agility and complexity that are indeed difficult to acquire. If I am not mistaken, he should have learned this Gong Fu with the Taoist of the Absolute Perfection sect. Mu Yi jumped again. Would this inconsiderate youngster be a disciple of the Absolute Perfection sect? The Venerable Liang has a remarkable eye, said the small man. You spend your life to the foot of the mountain of the eternal whiteness, and you dedicate yourselves to the meditation and to the alchemical practices. One says that you rarely come in the central plains, and yet you seem to know by heart the styles of the Chinese schools. I am very admiring of you. That's the way they speak in this town. Yeah, maybe that's just how they speak. Like no one knows what anyone is saying. They're just like all confused all day. Brother Peng is too laudatory, said the old man while sketching a smile. Only, pursued the small man, the Taoists of the Absolute Perfection sect are all of the bizarre and unforeseeable characters. How could they accept to take the young prince for a disciple? It is rather astonishing. When the prince wants to ensure the collaboration of someone, did retort the old man, do you believe that he doesn't have the arguments to what he wishes? As yourself, for example, Brother Pang, who dominates the Shandong and the Shanxi, don't you now make part of the prince's house? Wait, aren't you a part of the prince's house? The small man agreed. Their attention was again concentrated on the fight. They noticed that Guo Jing had changed style again. His technique of the palm adopted a slower rhythm, but permitted an extremely tight defense. The young prince had repeatedly searched to attack, but had been repulsed by very heavy strokes. He's a small man of the eyes. In your opinion, asked the old man to the small man, from where comes the gong fu of this small boy? His gong fu is very mixed, he answered after one moment of hesitation. One would say that he had several shifus. Oh, this small man is pretty smart. Chief Peng is right, intervened someone nearby. This kid is the disciple of the seven fanciful of the Jiangnan. Okay. The seven freaks? Or the seven angels. The seven fairies. Instead they call it fancifuls. Mu Yi examined the person who had just taken the word. It was a skinny man with a dark face, with 3 bumps on the forehead. He called him of Chief Peng. Would this small man therefore be the bandit Peng Lianhu, the butcher to the 1,000 hands, who slaughters without frowning? As for the 7 fanciful of the Jiangnan, it has been since a long time that I didn't hear their name anymore. I have not heard of their name for a long time. Will they still be part of this world? During this time, the skinny man with the dark face roared suddenly. Little brat, I finally found you. What the? Hold on. He drew a steel trident with short-sleeved and bounded in the arena. Hearing the noise behind him, Guojing turned around and fell nose to nose with the 3 bumps on the forehead. It was the dragon with 3 heads. Bo Tong Hai, ahahaha, the uncle in the arms of the 4 demons of the yellow stream. Surprised and worried, he hesitated. So this is the guy that he fought before. If you guys remember. The 4 demons of the yellow river. And this is their uncle. Surprised and worried, he hesitated. Not knowing what to do, the young prince took benefit out of this hesitation to hit him on the shoulder, thus making Guojing come back to the fight. Seeing Bo Tonghai bound in the arena, arms to the hand, the spectators believed that he was going to help one of the fighters, and finding this unworthy attitude, began to hoot at him. Mu Yi, who had understood that he was part of the royal house, moved forward, ready to fight him if he intended something against Guojing, while being conscious that the enemy was superior in number. Is this somehow Copper Corpse? No, this is not Copper Corpse. However, Bo Tonghai was not angry at the young man. He sped along directly into the crowd, to the other side, where a young boy, puny, in brags, jumped while seeing him and turned heels. The dragon with the 3 heads rushed after him, himself followed up by 4 men. Out of the corner of his eye, Guojing had well seen that it was Huang Rong, the new friend that he had gotten used to since Calgon. Ah, Huang Rong's back. And that Bo Tonghai pursued the weapons to the hand. What does that mean? Pursued the weapons to the hand. With the help of the 4 demons of the Yellow River. Very worried, he threw a kick and jumped backward. A moment, he exclaimed. I need to stop for 1 moment. We will continue our fight later. Okay, you can do that. The young prince, tired of this fight, had lost all desire to continue, and had not asked better to stop. If you recognize your defeat, he sneered, you can go. Preoccupied by his friend's security, Guojing got ready to be going. Guojing got ready to lend him assistance when he heard noises of step. He heard footsteps. It was Huang Rong, who came back while dragging a worn-out shoe while laughing, pursued by Bo Tonghai, who called him names and tried to hit him with his trident on his back. But Huang Rong was of an extraordinary agility, and the trident always missed its target. Its little target. Its target of little. The young boy adroitly slipped through the crowd and had already come out again on the other side. When Bo Tonghai came nearer, one could notice black marks of 2 palms on his cheeks. Obviously, the fragile boy had managed to slap him twice. Bo Tonghai hustled everyone, managing to find a path through the crowd, but Huang Rong was already far. Bo Tonghai stopped and maliciously made gestures to show Huang Rong what he had in mind. If I don't succeed in catching and slicing you up, howled Bo Tonghai. Why is it Ho Tonghai now? insane with rage. I don't want to be called a man anymore. Huang Rong waited until... I'm so confused. Ho Tonghai? Huang Rong waited until Ho Tonghai came nearer before fleeing again. Everyone burst out laughing. In the meantime, 3 breathless men arrived. They were the 3 demons of the Yellow River. The only one missing was Qian Qingjian, known as Killing Axe. Seeing such a spectacle, Guojing was surprised and pleased at the same time. Thus, he thought, this friend of mine must have excellent gong fu. The other day in the Black Pine Woods, it must have been him who had lured Ho Tonghai away and hung the 4 demons of the Yellow River on the trees. Yeah, so Hong Rong was following him the entire time and helping him. The surprise was not less in the opposite camp. Supreme Virtue Ling Zhi asked, Ginseng Immortal, that little beggar, has a remarkable agility. To which school does he belong? Apparently, Brother Ho has lost the skirmish. The white-haired master of the Eternal White Peak was called Liang Zi Wang. Since his youth, he had consumed natural ginseng and other remedies, which had protected him from attacks of old age. He didn't recognize the gong fu of the little beggar and shook his head. Then, after a moment, he said, When I am way beyond the pass, I often heard claims that the Dragon King of the demonic group was a frightening expert. Who would have thought that his apprentice brother was such a pitiful figure, at the point of not being able to handle a mere child? The small man was Peng Lianhu. He frowned without really answering. He was a great friend of the Dragon King of the demonic group, with whom he often collaborated, assisting on robbing raids. He knew the gong fu of Ho Tonghai, which was not bad, but he couldn't explain how Ho Tonghai could be ridiculed that easily. The diversion with Huang Rong and Ho Tonghai thus stopped the duel between Guojing and the young prince. The latter had clearly an edge on Guojing, since he succeeded several times to make his adversary fall, but he himself had to receive a multitude of blows and felt tired out. He wiped the sweat which ran abundantly on his face with a scarf wound as a belt. Mu Yi, who had rearranged the brocade banner, held the hand of Guojing, thanking him warmly and urging him to leave the place. Suddenly, a pitter-patter was heard. Huang Rong and Ho Tonghai returned, running, one chasing after the other. The former held 2 pieces of fabric, 2 pieces which were missing precisely on the tunic of the latter. The torn tunic exposed a hairy chest. A little later, Wu Qinglie and Mi Qingxiong appeared, weapons in their hands, following arduously and breathlessly. Missing was the one called Shun Qinggang, whom Huang Rong apparently managed to dispose of in some mysterious way. The commotion provoked laughter and jibes among the audience. Suddenly, one heard shouts from the west. Several tens of soldiers, wicker rods in their hands, shouted and struck the onlookers to open the way for a large red and golden palanquin carried by 6 musclemen. It is the princess! Oh, there's a princess, exclaimed the servants of the young prince. Which idiot has the insolence to inform my mother? The latter thundered frowningly. The servants, who did not dare to answer, hastened to approach the palanquin, which halted at an empty spot. You fought again? A soft female intonated voice was heard from the inside. It has been snowing, and you don't have your coat on. You will certainly catch a cold. Upon hearing that voice from a distance, Mu Yi seemed to be struck by lightning. How is this possible? He thought dumbfoundedly. That voice resembles her so much, but it's impossible. She is a Jin princess. I believe I've thought too much of my wife, and I've become crazy. Despite everything, he could not stop himself from nearing the palanquin. He saw a dainty hand with a handkerchief appearing from inside the palanquin, and tenderly wiped up the sweat on the face of the young nobleman, who listened to the words pronounced in a low voice, undoubtedly of reproach and admonition. But, Mom, the young prince said, I just had fun. All is well. Put your coat on quickly, the princess said, and let us go home. How could the two voices be that similar? Mu Yi was still astonished. He saw the white hand disappearing behind a silk curtain on which peonies were embroidered in gold wire. He tried to peer in, but his glance failed to penetrate the bright curtain. All right, what do you guys think is happening here, guys? One of the servants collected the brocade coat of his master and bawled at Guo Jing. Animal! Look what a state you've put this coat in. One of the soldiers who came with the princess raised his wicker rod and violently bashed down on Guo Jing's head. Guo Jing dodged, seized the wrist of his attacker, took the rod away, tripped him up. The man fell on the ground. Guo Jing then whipped him with the rod. You dare to strike wrongly and rampantly? He shouted. The crowd, some of whom had received blows from the rod, applauded with appreciation. The other soldiers shoutingly hastened to the rescue of their companion, but Guo Jing took them by pairs and threw them away. You are still bragging? The young prince shouted. He leapt to Guo Jing and both exchanged blows again. The princess shouted to stop, but the son did not seem to fear his mother. On the contrary. Look at me, Mom, he exclaimed. This bloody peasant is doing wicked things in the capital. If he is not taught a good lesson, he wouldn't respect his old man. He wanted to exhibit his best performance. He redoubled his efforts. Guo Jing, not being able to parry his nimble and fast palm, was struck by several blows and stumbled twice. Mu Yi, for his part, was magnetized by the palanquin. A corner of the curtain had been drawn. He saw two gracious eyes appearing, some hair strands, a part of the face of a mother, full of tender worry regarding her son. Mu Yi remained petrified. Guo Jing had changed for the better, but was confronted with an adversary with renewed vigor. The young prince sought to execute mortal blows, hoping to injure his adversary seriously, in order to definitively put an end to the combat. But Guo Jing had a thick skin and a good basis in Neigong, so that he was able to endure many blows. Moreover, the technique of the prince did certainly miss sophistication. His power was limited because of his youth and lack of experience. He tried on several occasions to grab Guo Jing with 10 fingers forming claws, using the technique which had enabled him to injure Mu Yi. But the disciple of the 6 freaks defended himself using the technique to detach tendons and disjoint bones. As the brawl climaxed, one still could see Huang Rong and Ho Tonghai run one behind the other. This time the latter carried a long straw in his hair. Usually it was a sign indicating the setting on sale of something. A bit of straw on a head thus meant that the head was to be sold. Obviously a joke of Huang Rong, of which Ho Tonghai was not aware of, occupied as he was in chasing. The remaining 2 demons of the Yellow River had also disappeared, obviously dispersed in some way. Oh, Huang Rong is pretty good. Liang Zi Wang and his companions lost themselves in racking their brains about the identity of Huang Rong. They saw Ho Tonghai run really swiftly, but he never managed to catch up with the boy in rags. This kid, would he be a member of the Beggars Clan? Peng Lianhu asked suddenly. The Beggars Clan was at that time the most powerful secret society in the realm of Jianghu. Liang Zi Wang twitched, but didn't answer. The two young people attacked each other swiftlier with increasing strength. Sometimes Guo Jing received a palm blow on his shoulder. Sometimes the prince got a kick on his thigh. They fought really body against body, raging and panting. Even a beginner could see that the fight became increasingly dangerous. The least distraction could cause a fatal injury. Peng Lianhu and Liang Ziwang prepared their invisible projectiles covertly in order to intervene when necessary. Guo Jing was a very obstinate person. His gong fu was not yet up to par, and the two experts persuaded themselves to be able to control the situation in time. In fact, Guo Jing's development was difficult to reproduce. Having grown in the desert, he had undergone all rigors, had experienced and was hardened through numerous battles. The prince, on the other hand, had always lived in luxury. No wonder, in this utterly brutal and merciless carried endurance battle, he began stumbling into lapses of fatigue. Getting tired, guys. The translator failed English class. Did he ever take English class? Not sure. Suddenly, Guo Jing uttered a great cry, seized his adversary by the collar, raised him high, and violently threw him to the ground. Oh shit. It was neither the technique to detach tendons and disjoint bones, nor the chinna, but a unique Mongolian technique that Jebe, his teacher, had taught him. The prince reacted promptly, jumping up as soon as he touched the ground, seizing the legs of Guo Jing, and they both fell. He got up quickly, tore from the hands of a soldier a long lance, and thrusted it towards Guo Jing's stomach. Guo Jing rolled to the side, whereas the other continued handling the long lance with dexterity. Guo Jing wanted to grab the lance with the stance to seize a blade with naked hands, but it was in vain. "My son!" exclaimed the princess. "Do not injure him. Be satisfied with winning." However, the prince, who seemed really eager to nail Guo Jing down, turned a deaf ear. Guo Jing, seeing the gleaming tip of the lance a few inches from his nose, parried with his arm. Something collapsed behind him. He seized the brocade banner of Mu Yi. With the stance to draw aside the clouds to peer at the sun, he used the pole like a long stick to counter the circling lance. Both fighters armed from now, Guo Jing employed the techniques of the exorcising cane taught by his first Shifu. In spite of the length of the pole, which obstructed him a little, he could deploy all subtleties of this art, methodically developed by Ku Jian'e in order to counter Mei Chaofeng. Each movement comprised of variants, often unexpected, always effective. Surprised by the ability of that weapon, the prince was forced into defense, but his dexterity with the lance was also impressive. As Mu Yi saw the prince handling that weapon, he grew astonished. Indeed, all its stances corresponded with the lance style of the Yang family. This technique, which was only handed down from father to son, could rarely be seen even in the south. He was really astonished seeing it now in the capital of Jin. But in spite of its nimble movements, this version of the lance style did not seem completely orthodox. It appeared devoid of its essence, as if it had been copied without the knowledge of its rightful owner. Thus one saw crossing and swaying of the lance and the banner pole, fluttering the snowflakes in all directions. The princess, seeing her son sweating blood and water, could not keep her anxiety anymore. "Stop!" she exclaimed. "Stop fighting, both of you!" Hearing these words, Peng Lianhu advanced with big steps into the arena. He struck the banner pole brutally. Guo Jing felt a sharp pain in his hands and released the pole, which flew away, the brocade spreading in the wind, and one could read through the falling snowflakes the golden letters, "Contest to find a spouse." Very surprised, Guo Jing did not even have time to distinguish the face or the silhouette of his adversary. As he felt the coming blow, he leapt back, but rather slow. The palm of Peng Lianhu had already touched him on his arm. He lost balance and fell to the ground. Ha ha ha! Young prince, Peng Lianhu said, laughing. I will get rid of this thoughtless young man so that he cannot intrude any more. He raised his palm, inhaled deeply, and sent a brutal blow onto the head of Guo Jing. Guo Jing, who was on the ground, knew that he did not have a chance, but regardless, he raised his arms to parry the blow. Supreme Virtue Ling Ji and the Ginseng Immortal exchanged glances. The arms of the young man would be lost. The blow of the Butcher of 1,000 was violent and was obviously going to break them. At this critical moment, a shout from the crowd was heard. Hold on! A gray silhouette holding a strange weapon leapt and wrapped up the right wrist of Peng Lianhu. Peng Lianhu drew with force, cracking and breaking the weapon, attacking with his left palm immediately. The man avoided the blow by lowering his head, while seizing Guo Jing by the waist and carrying him away. Then one could see him clearly. He was a middle-aged Taoist, dressed in gray, holding a mop in his hand, of which only the handle remained. The torn-off strands were around the wrist of Peng Lianhu. Both looked at each other. They had exchanged only one stance, but had been able to fathom each other's kung fu. You are undoubtedly the famed Master Peng, the Taoist said. It is a great honor to meet you here today. You are over-courteous. May I ask the name of Master Taoist? The Taoist, on which all glances were fixed, did not answer, being satisfied to advance his left foot and then to withdraw it. Then one could see on the ground, covered with a very fine layer of snow, a deep hole of 10 inches. A simple pressure of the foot had dug such a deep hole. That revealed an extraordinary kung fu. Peng Lianhu was startled and said, Are you the immortal with iron foot, Jade Sun Wang? Master Peng is overpraising, the Taoist answered. I am indeed Wang Chuyi, but I am not worthy of the title immortal. Peng Lianhu, Liang Jiwang, and Supreme Virtue Ling Ji knew very well that Wang Chuyi was an eminent member of the Chen Zhen sect, the Total Perfection sect. His fame was only a bit less than Perpetual Spring, Chu Chu Chi. They only had heard, but had never seen him, and they examined him very attentively. He was a man with fine features, with a little goatee on his chin. He wore immaculate white socks, gray shoes, and seemed to heed much care to his clothes. If he had not made a demonstration of his kung fu, nobody there would believe that he was indeed the immortal with iron foot, who, in keeping one foot at the cliff's edge and swaying like a lotus leaf in the wind, had definitively impressed the brave men of Hebei and Shandong. Wang Chuyi smiled and said, pointing at Guo Jing, I don't know this young friend at all, but seeing him intervening with such an amount of bravery and courage, I was full of admiration. That is why I allow myself to beg Master Peng to let him live. The request was courteously uttered, said Peng Lianhu, and if a Chanzhen eminence personally interfered, who wouldn't grant him a wish? Very well, Wang Chuyi answered by cupping his hands. Thank you. After thanking him, Wang Chuyi turned. His expression changed, his face darkened, and he asked the young prince severely, What is your name? Who is your Shifu? The young prince, after having heard the name of Wang Chuyi, felt ill and would have liked to disappear unnoticed. However, the Taoist had kept an eye on him. My name is Wan Yan Kang, he answered. I cannot reveal the name of my Shifu. Bum bum bum. So this is the other brother, guys. We finally meet him, and he is a little dick. Your Shifu has a red mole on his left cheek, hasn't he? Wan Yankang wanted to dodge the question with a witty remark, but the terrible glance of the Taoist frightened him. He suppressed what he intended to say and nodded. I suspected it, Wang Chuyi said. You are the disciple of Brother Qiu. What had your Shifu said before teaching you martial arts? Wan Yankang understood the situation had turned very unsound for him. If Shifu, he thought, gets to know what had happened today, it would be a catastrophe. If Master Taoist knows my Shifu, he said servilely, you have the right to my whole respect. Why don't you come to my modest residence so that I can benefit from your advice? Before Wang Chuyi could answer, the prince had turned to Guojing and said, bowing, After exchanging blows, a friendship could grow, he said, smiling. Now you say that? I admire the gong fu of Brother Guo very much. I invite you both to come to my house in order to know each other better. And what will happen with the marriage? Guojing asked, pointing at Mu Yi and his daughter. Wan Yankang seemed embarrassed. This matter deserves further pondering. My friend, Mu Yi said, drawing Guojing by his sleeve. Let us go. We don't need to occupy him anymore. Wan Yankang bowed again in front of Wang Chuyi. Master Taoist, I thus await you at home. You only have to ask for the residence of Prince Zhao. The weather is very cold. All things are freezing. It is an ideal time to sit together by a fire and admire the snow. We shall drink to celebrate this evening. He climbed on the horse whose bridle his servant held and galloped, without being concerned of trampling somebody, full into the crowd, who immediately dispersed. This contemptuous behavior triggered the anger of Wang Chuyi. My little friend, he said to Guojing, come with me. I must wait for a very dear friend, Guojing said. As he said these words, he saw Huang Rong making a jump in the middle of the crowd and shouting to him, Don't worry about me. I'll find you in no time at all. Huang Rong stood back on his feet, and his diminutive figure soon disappeared in the crowd. One saw Ho Tonghai, the three-headed dragon, giving chase. Guojing turned and kowtowed on the snow to thank Wang Chuyi for saving his life. The Taoist raised him, took his arm. Both found a path among the crowd and ran in the direction of the outskirts. All right. How did you guys like that? That seemed like a long chapter, but it wasn't. It was just us taking a long time with Samantha. You hate Wan Yankang? Yeah. Alright, so we finally see him. That's Yankang. Yeah. Did you guys expect that? He's a little dick. He's a little spoiled little motherfucker. 47 minutes? Yeah. Yeah. So they did fight, right? But I don't think that that was the official fight. Maybe we'll see them officially fight later on. Okay. And what do you guys think of Hong Rong? Seems like a cool dude, no? Yeah, and he's been following Guo Jing, protecting him. So he seems like a pretty cool friend that he made. The translator slowly falling as the chapter continued. He's like, yeah, it just went downhill the further the chapter, further we read along the chapter. You think Mu Yi isn't actually his father. The story is trying to throw us off with him. Ah, okay. And who's the daughter? Is that really his daughter? The absolute perfection sect. Yeah. The small man of the eyes. Wasn't it like the small man of the eye of blood or something? What was that? It's cracking me up. Eyes shot with blood. I think it was like eyes shot of blood. I remember like of blood. Let's see. Da, 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 da. Oh, here it is. The small man of the eyes injected of blood. That's cracking me up. All seriousness got lost when that happened. True. All right. Well, good chapter. Okay. I like that we met we met Young Kang already. So we have the two guys that will fight. We'll see who's better. Guo Jing seems like he's pretty strong already, doesn't he? He's pretty good. Yeah, and it looks like everyone hates Wan Yan Kang. Oh, and Ho changing names. Yeah, what was that? What is his real name? It's probably Ho Tong Hai, but then it said Bo Tong Hai. Ho Tong Hai. Anyways. All right. Gonna drink some wine. And then we can end it. All right, so next week, no stream on Monday, but the stream will be on Sunday. Okay. Yeah, so don't tune in on Monday. It'll be Sunday, the 23rd. Same time, just on Sunday instead of Monday. Maybe I'll put a announcement on the community post too. What? What do you mean what? Just what I said. Yeah, I'll be busy on Monday, so it'll be Sunday, okay? Sunday! Cheers. All right, guys. Throwing you off your groove. Well, you quit your job, didn't you? Yeah. So you should have all the free time in the world now, Sal. It was originally on a Sunday. Ah, true, Nikki, you remember. It was originally on a Sunday. All right, guys. Thanks for joining. I love you. And I will see you next time on Sunday. All right, bye.